Good morning. Okay, we have some grammar worksheets which are continuing on from last week for the speech marks. So if you want a refresher on how speech marks work, we have done a lot of speech marks. So I'm hoping that not too many of you will need to do that. But if you want to go back, it's obviously there. I'm going to take you through the tasks. So there's a chat show, and then there's some of the old fairy tales that you know the stories well. So let's look at the chat show first. It's written as dialogue, similar but not the same as the layout that we used when we were writing our scripts. So we've got Abby and Thomas. Abby's interviewing Thomas, who is the world conquer champion. And it's a short dialogue between the two. Abby says, and you can see Abby, thank you for coming, Thomas. I don't often meet world conquer champions. Thomas, well, here's the champion conquer, as good as new, and so on and so on. So your job is to fill in the blanks. And what you can actually see there is the hard work has been done for you. You are copying from that. And so the things that you need to watch out for are spelling, capital letters, and that is all. So that is quite straightforward. Okay, the next one then is Little Red Riding Hood. So use the rules of speech to rewrite this section of Little Red Riding Hood. And if you do the bit in red, what big eyes you have, Grandmaster Little Red Riding Hood softly, all the better to see with, my dear, and so on and so on. So it gives you some tips. Speech marks indicate the beginning of and end of speech. So that's what we call the 66, the 99, the inverted commas. Speech marks begins with a capital letter, because remember, it's the beginning of a sentence. Okay? Punctuation goes inside the final speech marks. We've talked about that a lot, and there's no space after the word, between the final word and the comma or the full stop or the question mark or whatever. Remember to tell the reader who is speaking. Choose an interesting word or synonym. A synonym is just a word that means the same thing for said, and each speaker's in a new line. So, for example, what big eyes you have, Grandma said Little Red Riding Hood softly. So if you can think of a new word for said, what big eyes you have, Grandma murmured Little Red Riding Hood softly. What big eyes you have, Grandma cried Little Red Riding Hood softly. You could think of a word yourself. Okay? Then it's the same with the three bears. Exactly the same task. And the three billy goats gruff, exactly the same task. Three little pigs, exactly the same task. Okay? The paragraphs are not long. So there's not actually a lot of work in it once you get started. If you don't want to do it all today, you can do one each day, or however way you want to work it out. Okay, if you can't get them all done by the end of the week, that's okay. Don't let it worry you. If you want me to mark it, put it up on Seesaw or in the comments, or I will put the answers out on Monday.